What is going on, everybody? Bit by bit, coming back at it again to discuss the latest chapter in the One Piece series. Today, we are going to be looking at chapter 1115. Last we saw, Vegapunk was dropping some major Void Century news across the entire world. Gorosei did not like that at all, and they're trying to put a stop to it. Let's not even waste no time. I want to jump right into this because I cannot wait to see what happens in this chapter. This chapter is titled Continental Fragments. And short story, we got Yamato looking out for, to be completely honest, I can't remember these two's names. This is the girl that ate a defective smile fruit, and all she can do is smile all the time. And I believe this is one of the 9 scabbards right here. And let's see here. Oni Child Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage, Volume 5. Getting a bento from Hiyori and Otoko. Eido's recent concert at the National Stadium was incredible. The world-traveling pop princess keeps outdoing herself. Doesn't Oda say a lot of stuff about Eido? Like, I feel like he mentions her quite a bit. Oh well. Let's get down to business here. The flower capital in Wano. It's hard to believe this foreign transmission is reaching us. Now, you may be wondering how he came to be known as a pirate. That is true. Enlighten me, Vegapunk. How did this happen? We found the snail in the castle among Orochi's possessions. So even Orochi, I feel he did say this in the Wano arc, but he kept tabs on the outside world quite a bit. So you were a pirate, Joy Boy, just like Luffy. You know of him, my lord? That had to be it had to be something that he read in Odin's journal, because since Odin traveled with Roger and he witnessed what was on Laugh Tale, he probably knows about Joy Boy and thus wrote it down, and now Momonosuke knows about it. A jail cell at the G4 naval base. Oh, this is just like a little holding cell before these losers get sent to Impel Down. That's what this is. Joy Boy, who cares? I bet you could beat him. I bet you could easily beat him, right, Captain He just don't quit. He just don't quit. He doesn't know when to stop. The man's already dead. That's our captain. The only thing bigger than his confidence is his belly. Yeah, you probably need to do something about that. Yeah, I'm clearly a million times tougher than this Joy Toy. You know, that actually might be a pretty good marketing phrase right there for certain toys that could be made. That's Joy Toy. That's actually not bad, actually. I'm surprised nobody's thought of that until now. It's Joy Boy, boss. Do bear in mind, I only have access to a handful of poneglyphs. You really now? So, Vegapunk actually has access to poneglyphs, not just the information that probably the scholars of Ohara had, but he actually has access to a handful of poneglyphs. I think I can only count maybe a couple that Robin's ever seen. She saw the one in Alabaster, she saw the one in Sky Island, the one in Mermaid's Island, or Fishman Island, excuse me. And the road poneglyph in Zoe, and there's also the rubbings that Brooke managed to get a hold of from Whole Cake Island, which, have we even looked at those yet? Have we even had the time to look? Has Robin even had the time to look at those rubbings? They haven't showed that yet. Let's see. Oh my god, here we go. But their combined narrative clearly chronicles an unbelievable history about a great war in the distant past. During that time, Joy Boy faced an enemy, the organization now known as the World Government. Go on, Vegapunk. Keep digging.
Wait, isn't that us?
Yeah, no shit. Well, he did say he was a pirate. Somehow I get the feeling like the term pirate, or what pirate meant in the Void Century, is not how it's meant today. Like it was a completely different way of life back then. Back then, they were merely the Allied power. They were merely the Allied powers, a temporary coalition consisting of 20 separate kingdoms. Vegapunk! Oh my god, look at Dorian Broggy here and Luffy just like running from him. Like here's what I'm guessing, okay? Luffy is so used to just doing like these one-on-one fist fights with people all the time that he's really gonna have to like think outside the box to actually take down the Gorosei. I bet it's gonna be something kind of like what he had with when he fought Katakuri on Whole Cake Island. Like he could not figure out a way to actually get around Katakuri's observation hockey until he just literally stumbled across something and managed to land a hit on him. And that's when he realized, wait, this is how I can actually do some damage to this guy? I'm betting that's what it's going to be like the Gorosei. He's literally just going to stumble across something and be like, oh, wait, so that's how I can damage you guys. I'm betting that's probably what it's going to be like. It may not be right here on Egghead Island, but it's going to come to like that point. And here we are back at the Lavos phase. Mars? Dude, pulling some straight up Conqueror's hockey right here. Dude, he is straight up just knocking out all these Den Mushi, like trying to get rid of whatever Vegapunk is streaming from right now. He's trying to end it immediately. If there were any doubts before that the Gorosei didn't have Conqueror's hockey, this right here puts that to bed right here. This is straight up proof that they can use Conqueror's hockey, without a doubt. It can be assumed that an alliance was the only feasible way to oppose the formidable faction to which Joy Boy belonged. I'm afraid that the cause of this conflict still eludes me, so I do not presume to judge the morality of the combatants. I can, however, say that this war was a clash of two opposing ideologies. I mean, isn't that usually how it all starts? Like, two types of people can't agree on something, and then that disagreement will turn to arguments. The arguments will turn to hatred, and that hatred will turn to fighting. That's usually, I think that's usually how it goes, in my understanding. I mentioned earlier that Joy Boy was born into a fantastical civilization. Yep. So, okay, so what he's talking about here, this must be like Joy Boy, or as the Nika is what it is. And he's taking on these 20 coalitions right here. I don't know what it is, but this guy right here, I'm fairly certain it's not who I think it is. But just with this little hairdo right here, it kind of reminds me of Nolan from Sky Island, the Sky Island history of Nolan the Liar, with this little acorn top hat right here, and the way the hair looks right here kind of reminds me of Shiki. I'm fairly certain that's not related to this in any way, shape, or form. It just kind of reminds me of it. And over here we got Zunisha. Even the people of Zo are listening in on this message. They are not about to miss out on what the greatest mind in the world's got to say. Zo, New World. One so advanced it is hard to believe it existed over 900 years ago. The weapons that existed during this century-long struggle are far beyond our modern science. Even at this point, even if the world government was able to disassemble or completely disconnect the streaming that Vegapunk has going on right now, damage has been done. He has released far too much information to the people of the world at this point. They literally know stuff at this point that even the world government did not want getting out. And he has released it to the entire world. Damage has been done. That's amazing. Oh, Foxy! Are you kidding me? What's that peanut-headed fool saying? Oh, boss, you're making me hungry. Such technology is baffling even to a genius such as myself. He's so big-headed. My God, this dude right here. This dude right here. And therein lies our problem. Labostratum. Bruh, bruh. Stussy. Wheeze, wheeze. Huh? It's me, Edison. Oh, it's me, Edison? Lower the barrier and hightail it out of there. But I can't. What if something were to happen to the Straw Hat crew? I'm gonna be straight with you. There ain't no point in the barrier no more. Not when there are monsters on the island who can ignore it. Yeah, very true. I mean, what good is the barrier at this point? Like, if these 5 people can literally just bust it down, I mean, there's really no point at this point. We've done all we can for them. I'm sure they'll make it somehow. Edison looked like hell torn over. Like he is just wrecked right now after going through that barrier. Jinbei and Zoro over here. Jinbei still clutching, making that hard run. I am a firm believer that Jinbei is like the single dad of the whole crew. Like, he's the one that's just trying to keep everybody in line. Like, he's trying to be the fun dad that just has fun, but he's got to, like, corral his children. Like, I firmly believe that is the case here. We apologize. We're almost there. There's nothing to apologize for. We were busy. Is that you, Zoro? You're gonna get it later. That's got to be Nami he's talking to. Now hurry up. They're moving. Now hurry up. They're moving their ships to blockade the northeast coast. I'll never forgive you if we get blasted out of the water after all this. I mean, look at this ship over here. Like this is the giant ship right here, holding off these enormous battleships that the Marines have. Even with these ships, the giant ship is so much more bigger. That's insane. That's good to hear. I was worried Stella would never forgive me if I let them get caught. As if. Now get your ass out of there. But I don't know what to do with myself. Huh? Now that Stella's gone, who am I meant to live for? I have no purpose. Live for Luffy and his crew. That's a purpose. Go and live for them. And Kaku over here, Kaku is just like, I mean, you're still a backstabber, but I don't know. Am I feeling some sort of sympathy for you right now? Let's see here. Oh yeah, back to the fight with Venus Juro. Okay. Don't let him use his sword. This geezer can cut anything. Bonnie coming in here with her Gigantamax form and trying to just like sidekick the heck out of him. And this giant's literally got him by the tail, coming down with the axe blade right here, like fixing to one chop this guy. Sanji got thrown to the side, and this giant got thrown to the side as well. Even with all that, Venus Juro ain't playing around. Sense the living voice. Sense the living voices. Does he have the voice? Can he hear the voice of all things too? I mean, that's kind of how I'm reading that right there. Can he hear the voice of all things as well? Who are these Gorosei? We need to get some backstory on these people, okay? We need a little bit more depth with this Void Century. Bonnie! Bonnie, get down! Oh, Frankie coming in with the save right here. Yeah, boy. Venus Juro just straight up just slicing everything here. Looks like, oh, Bonnie went back down to a child here and managed to cut off the, what is that, the stern or the main head of the ship. He managed to cut off the main head of the ship right here. That's actually not bad. I don't think that's a good indication of how great his skills are, though, because, I mean, Zoro could do the same thing quite easily. That's not really a big deal. I can't maintain distorted future for very long. The Void Century ended with Joy Boy's defeat. Wait, I want to know what's happening with this robot, okay? Don't just leave us hanging with this thing, okay? What is going on here? How much do you intend to say? How much do you intend to say, Vegapunk? Vegapunk intends to say everything. Did you all seriously think that you could just hide what happened that long ago? No. It's going to come to the surface eventually. You can't stop it. It just like I said, damage has been done. Vegapunk has already said too much to the entire world. You might as well just let it finish off. There's no, unless you plan to wipe out every single person in the world at this point, there's no excusing or denying what Vegapunk has said here. There's not. He's leaving? Okay, I take back what I said earlier. I take back what I said earlier about not having a very good display of skills. Yeah. I think this one shot right here may even top what Mihawk did at the Paramount War, where he sliced that mountain of ice. Yeah, I think this tops that right here. Wow. There are too many life forms up here. But the aftermath had grander consequences. The wake of that ancient conflict scarred the world, and those scars never healed. He cut the entire Labos phase. He's literally cut an entire Sky Island. Cut it in half. I mean, not just the clouds, but the inner workings, the steel, the everything. He cut it all in one slice. What the? Even the Seraphim all managing to get out here. Wah! Oh, that's right. All the missing Cypher Pole agents. Yeah, straight. Y'all are just fodder at this point. Just straight fodder. We all know travel between islands can be excruciatingly difficult. The seas one must traverse are so vast and perilous, most people are content to live and die at their places of birth, never experiencing any culture other than their own. True that. That's pretty much why so many people just stay on the island. Isn't that a bit obvious? Ha ha ha. Everyone knows the seas are dangerous. This is common knowledge to us now, but it wasn't like that 1,000 years ago. A cataclysmic ecological disaster occurred during the Void Century. And the ancient world was swallowed by the ocean. We are now living atop the remnants, continental fragments of the land masses that once were. So, okay. I wonder. I'm wondering if the entire Grand Line, much like the Red Line, was one big continent. I'm wondering that. If the entire Grand Line, much like the Red Line, was like the equator, where it was one entire continent, and the Red Line is like the prime meridian, that would actually kind of explain a lot. Now, I can't speak for the islands like in the North Blue, South Blue, West Blue, and East Blue, but all the islands that exist in the Grand Line, based on what Vegapunk is saying here, that all have been at one point could have been one continent. That's actually huge news right there. Say what? Even the revolutionaries are like, what? What? The world of a millennium ago sleeps unseen at the bottom of the ocean. This is what I want to know what this whole page is right here. Is this a sliver of the ancient kingdom itself? Is this a sliver of that? I know it is hard to believe on my word alone, but there really were multiple vast continents back then. Okay, so it wasn't just one big one. It wasn't just like the Red Line and probably whatever the Grand Line was. There were multiple ones. This is insane. Hey, Nojiko, where do you think you're going? The whole world is at stake. Fill me in later. I've got to check on the Tangerine Orchid. Really? Where are your priorities right now? Literally, world-altering news is being dropped right now, and you're worried about them damn tangerines? This change in the world helps explain how a century of history could be censored. A feat that seems nigh impossible, but it makes sense when you consider the undeniable conclusion all of the data points to. Within a mere century, the average sea levels rose by a staggering 200 meters. Okay, so I'm going to be straightforward. I actually don't know how big 200 meters is. I can probably give you maybe about maybe 10 meters at the most. Like maybe, I think 8 meters, close to 20 feet or something like that. I mean, maybe I can figure that out, but 200 meters, rough guesstimation. I couldn't give you an answer to that. I have no idea how big 200 meters is. What? You're kidding? 200? God, even the Navy over here just shook. A warship's only 60 meters tall. No wonder the old world disappeared. Hey, stop listening to that crap. We have work to do. Okay, that might give us a better rough guesstimation. So if a battleship right here is 60 meters tall, okay, 60 meters. Let's go ahead and stack. Let's go ahead and stack another 5 on top of that. So, I don't know, a battleship? That might be getting close to how high this sky island was right here. Rough guesstimation, maybe the size of a mountain? Something like that? So 200 meters, that okay. This seems very biblical right here, like a great flood, like the great flood that destroyed the world. Is that what they're trying to get at right here? Just wiped out everything. The Seraphim and those imprisoned Cypherpole agents were spotted falling out of the lab building. We've got to rescue them. Did you hear that? His tall tales keep getting taller. The old fart's lost his marbles. What a joke. Yeah, says the people who don't know shit about how the world really works. Sakura Kingdom, Chopper's hometown. Is that really possible? Even now, the world still finds a way to keep things interesting. That's kind of surprising for somebody who's, what is she, 120? For somebody who's that old, I'm kind of surprised she doesn't know some information about what could have happened a long time ago as well. That mountain is around 200... Well, thank you for answering my question. That mountain is around 200 meters. You're saying something that tall would have been submerged? That's awful. How many people died? So, yeah. Maybe the size of an average mountain was submerged. Wow. That's a hella flood right there. That begs the question, how and why did such a flood occur? Naturally, your first inclination might be to assume it was some kind of natural disaster. However, I can say for certain that it was no such thing. It was a man-made calamity. A man-made disaster pretty much destroyed the world. You can't be serious! Vivi's over here like, shut up! Shut up, I'm trying to listen! If this catastrophe was brought about by natural means, there would be records denoting early warning signs several centuries earlier. It was a severe world-altering event, after all. But all my research into meteorology, geology, ecology, and atmospheric science confirmed that there was no such natural buildup. It is impossible for such a drastic change to happen spontaneously within the span of a mere 100 years, meaning the cause lies elsewhere. My suspicions were confirmed a few days ago when I analyzed the world's current sea levels. I mean, at this point, if you're straight up talking about the Void Century and the war, I mean, there's really only three things that could cause such devastation. I mean, we all know what that is. It has to be the ancient weapons. That's literally all it could be. This will be hard to accept, but that disaster 800 years ago was caused by ancient weapons technology capable of sinking the world. Called it! I mean, it just keeps getting worse and worse. Like, I keep saying damage is done, but he is releasing so much information that the Gorosei can't stop it. There's no stopping this now. And not only that, at this point, what is the Gorosei worried about? If they're really as powerful as they say, what does it matter if the rest of the world finds out about what happened? Okay? Couldn't they just... They literally look on people as just like nothing other than insects. So what does it matter? I mean, they could literally just destroy everybody if they wanted to. And that very same firepower evidently still exists, just waiting to be used again. In other words, the Great War, which ravaged the world during the Void Century. Oh, Imu-sama! Is still ongoing. The genius sheds light on a forgotten history. Okay, so, right here. This right here, and that very same firepower evidently still exists, just waiting to be used again. This right here tells me that what we saw at Lelusia Kingdom, that is not something that Vegapunk built. That is not something that Vegapunk built, which means the Gorosei have the third ancient weapon. They've had the third ancient weapon all this time, but they probably didn't know how to use it or how to utilize it, which is probably why they needed Vegapunk to build the Mother Flame. Vegapunk did not build that thing that was flying, that destroyed the Lucia Kingdom. The Gorosei have had that the whole time. They just needed a power source. So, at least in my mind, this is how I see it. Pluton is in Wano. Poseidon, down at Fishman Island. Uranus, the Gorosei have had it this whole time. I'm sticking with that. Until Oda changes my mind in here somewhere, that's what I'm sticking with. Dang. And still can't get a good look at Emu's face here. Man, solid chapter. The Gorosei can't stop this now. Too much information has been released at this point. Too much information has been released to the public now. They can't stop it. Nope. God, solid chapter. Oh, I can't, and there's no break next week either. Oh, I can't wait. Oh man, drop a comment down below. Give me your thoughts and what you think, what you thought about this chapter. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I will catch you all in the next chapter.